Good evening, and welcome to this testimony meeting. Let's begin by singing hymn number 83. God made all his creatures free. Life itself is liberty. God ordained no other bands than united hearts and hands. Hymn number 83.
God made all his creatures free. Life itself is liberty. God ordained no other bands than united hearts and hands. One in fellowship of mind, we our bliss and glory find. In that endless happy whole, where our God is life and soul. So shall all slavery cease, all God's children dwell in peace, and the newborn earth record love, and love alone is Lord.
The theme of tonight's readings is all God's creatures. I'll be reading from the Bible and from the Christian Science textbook, Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures by Mary Baker Eddy. Genesis. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth, and every winged fowl. And God made the beast of the earth, and cattle, and everything that creepeth upon the earth. And God said, Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. Psalms. When I consider thy heavens, the work of thy fingers, the moon and the stars which thou hast ordained, what is man that thou art mindful of him, and the Son of Man that thou visitest him? Thou madest him to have dominion over the works of thy hands. Thou hast put all things under his feet, all sheep and oxen, yea, and the beasts of the field, the fowl of the air, and the fish of the sea, and whatsoever passeth through the paths of the seas. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the world, and they that dwell therein. O Lord, thou preservest man and beast. Genesis. God said unto Noah, Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Room shalt thou make in the ark. And behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons and thy wife and thy sons' wives with thee, and of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. 2 of every sort shall come unto thee, to keep them alive. Thus did Noah, according to all that God commanded him. And the waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the 1st month, the 1st day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. And God spake unto Noah, saying, Go forth of the ark, thou and thy wife and thy sons wives with thee. Bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee, that they may breed abundantly in the earth, and be fruitful, and multiply upon the earth. And Noah went forth, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him. Every beast, every creeping thing, and every fowl, and whatsoever creepeth upon the earth after their kinds, went forth out of the ark. Psalms. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. 1 Kings. The word of the Lord came unto Elijah, saying, Get thee hence, and turn thee eastward, and hide thyself by the brook. And it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed thee there. So he went and did according unto the word of the Lord, and the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening. Job. Who provideth for the raven his food? Who hath sent out the wild ass? Gavest thou the goodly wings unto the peacocks, or wings and feathers unto the ostrich? Hast thou given the horse strength? Doth the hawk fly by thy wisdom? Doth the eagle mount up at thy command, and make her nest on high? Psalms. O Lord my God, thou art very great. He sendeth the springs into the valleys which run among the hills. They give drink to every beast of the field. The wild asses quench their thirst. By them shall the fowls of the heaven have their habitation, which sing among the branches. He watereth the hills from his chambers. The earth is satisfied with the fruit of thy works. He causeth the grass to grow for the cattle, and herb for the service of man, that he may bring forth food out of the earth. The trees of the Lord are full of sap, the cedars of Lebanon which he hath planted, where the birds make their nests. As for the stork, the fir trees are her house. The high hills are a refuge for the wild goats, and the rocks for the conies. These wait all upon thee, that thou mayest give them their meat in due season. That thou givest them, they gather. Thou openest thine hand, they are filled with good. Isaiah. Lift up your eyes on high, and behold who hath created these things, that bringeth out their host by number. He calleth them all by names, by the greatness of his might. For that he is strong in power, not one faileth. There shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. And the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, and righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins. And the cow and the bear shall feed, their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. Luke. And it came to pass, as Jesus went into the house of one of the chief Pharisees to eat bread on the Sabbath day, that they watched him. And behold, there was a certain man before him which had the dropsy. And Jesus, answering, spake unto the lawyers and Pharisees, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day? And they held their peace. And he took him and healed him, and let him go, and answered them, saying, Which of you shall have an ass or an ox fallen into a pit, and will not straightway pull him out on the Sabbath day? And they could not answer him again to these things. 1 Timothy. Every creature of God is good. And from Science and Health. God is the life or intelligence which forms and preserves the individuality and identity of animals as well as of men. Spirit diversifies, classifies, and individualizes all thoughts which are as eternal as the mind conceiving them. But the intelligence, existence, and continuity of all individuality remain in God, who is the divinely creative principle thereof. The minutiae of lesser individualities reflect the one divine individuality and are comprehended in and formed by spirit, not by material sensation. From love and from the light and harmony which are the abode of spirit, only reflections of good can come. All things beautiful and harmless are ideas of mind. The divine ego or individuality is reflected in all spiritual individuality, from the infinitesimal to the infinite. Matter is neither intelligent nor creative. The tree is not the author of itself. Sound is not the originator of music, and man is not the father of man. If seed is necessary to produce wheat, and wheat to produce flour, or if one animal can originate another, how then can we account for their primal origin? There is but one creator and one creation. This creation consists of the unfolding of spiritual ideas and their identities, which are embraced in the infinite mind and forever reflected. The divine principle or spirit comprehends and expresses all, and all must therefore be as perfect as the divine principle is perfect. Nothing is new to spirit. Nothing can be novel to eternal mind, the author of all things, who from all eternity knoweth his own ideas. Deity was satisfied with his work. How could he be otherwise, since the spiritual creation was the outgrowth, the emanation of his infinite self-containment and immortal wisdom? Spirit blesses the multiplication of its own pure and perfect ideas. From the infinite elements of the one mind emanate all form, color, quality, and quantity, and these are mental, both primarily and secondarily. Their spiritual nature is discerned only through the spiritual senses. Mortal mind inverts the true likeness and confers animal names and natures upon its own misconceptions. That Adam gave the name and nature of animals is solely mythological and material. God fashions all things after his own likeness. Life is reflected in existence, truth in truthfulness, God in goodness, which impart their own peace and permanence. Love, redolent with unselfishness, bathes all in beauty and light. Mind's infinite ideas run and disport themselves. In humility, they climb the heights of holiness. Moral courage is the lion of the tribe of Judah, the king of the mental realm. Free and fearless, it roams in the forest. Undisturbed, it lies in the open field or rests in green pastures beside the still waters. In the figurative transmission from the divine thought to the human, diligence, promptness, and perseverance are likened to the cattle upon 1,000 hills. They carry the baggage of stern resolve and keep pace with highest purpose. Tenderness accompanies all the might imparted by Spirit. The individuality created by God is not carnivorous, as witnessed the millennial estate pictured by Isaiah. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together. And a little child shall lead them. Understanding the control which love held over all, Daniel felt safe in the lion's den, and Paul proved the useful viper to be harmless. All of God's creatures, moving in the harmony of science, are harmless, useful, indestructible. A realization of this grand verity was a source of strength to the ancient worthies. It supports Christian healing and enables its possessor to emulate the example of Jesus. And God saw that it was good. Patience is symbolized by the tireless worm creeping over lofty summits, persevering in its intent. The serpent of God's creating is neither subtle nor poisonous, but is a wise idea, charming in its adroitness, for love's ideas are subject to the mind which forms them, the power which changes the serpent into a staff. The fowls which fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven correspond to aspirations soaring beyond and above corporeality to the understanding of the incorporeal and divine principle, love. Spirit duly feeds and clothes every object as it appears in the line of spiritual creation, thus tenderly expressing the fatherhood and motherhood of God. Preach the gospel to every creature. Speak the truth to every form of error. Meet every adverse circumstance as its master. Observe mind instead of body, lest aught unfit for development enter thought. Think less of material conditions and more of spiritual. Every medical method has its advocates. The preference of mortal mind for a certain method creates a demand for that method, and the body then seems to require such treatment. You can even educate a healthy horse so far in physiology that he will take cold without his blanket, whereas the wild animal, left to his instincts, sniffs the wind with delight. The divine principle of healing is proved in the personal experience of any sincere seeker of truth. Its purpose is good, and its practice is safer and more potent than that of any other sanitary method. It must be clear to you that sickness is no more the reality of being than is sin. Then one disease would be as readily destroyed as another. Mentally insist that harmony is the fact and that sickness is a temporal dream. Realize the presence of health and the fact of harmonious being until the body corresponds with the normal conditions of health and harmony. Life is never for a moment extinct. Therefore, it is never structural nor organic, and is never absorbed nor limited by its own formations. The author has healed hopeless organic disease and raised the dying to life and health through the understanding of God as the only life. It is a sin to believe that aught can overpower omnipotent and eternal life, and this life must be brought to light by the understanding that there is no death, as well as by other graces of spirit. God gives the lesser idea of himself for a link to the greater, and in return, the higher always protects the lower. Love giveth to the least spiritual idea might, immortality, and goodness, which shine through all as the blossom shines through the bud. All the varied expressions of God reflect health, holiness, immortality, infinite life, truth, and love. All that is made is the work of God, and all is good. Thus, the ideas of God in universal being are complete and forever expressed, for science reveals infinity and the fatherhood and motherhood of love. The universe is filled with spiritual ideas which he evolves, and they are obedient to the mind that makes them. Let's have a few moments of silent prayer, and then pray together the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Now let's sing hymn number 45. Dear God, how glorious is thy name through all the earth and sea and sky, the wondrous heavens thy handiwork, the moon and stars hast thou ordained. Hymn number 45.
Dear God, how glorious is thy name through all the earth and sea and sky, the wondrous heavens thy handiwork, the moon and stars hast thou ordained. Such tender beauty, Lord, from thee is shed abroad o'er all the earth. In bird, in sunbeam, light and flower, thy grace and goodness may be seen. For this thy gift unspeakable, the beauty of love's holiness, we lift our hearts in grateful song, and would be always praising thee.
Again, welcome to this testimony meeting. We're glad you're here, whether in person or on Zoom. This church is one of the worldwide branches of the Mother Church, the First Church of Christ Scientist in Boston, Massachusetts. On Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock, we have a church service based on the weekly Bible lesson presented in the Christian Science Quarterly. Children and teens are welcome in our Sunday school at the same time as the church service. And our children's room is always available. In our reading room in this building, you'll find the Bible, the writings of Mary Baker Eddy, Christian Science magazines, and the Christian Science Monitor. The reading room is open 1/2 hour before Wednesday meetings and a 1/2 hour after the Sunday service. Members are reminded of the quarterly business meeting next Monday, January 12 at 7:30 on Zoom. A quorum is required to conduct business. Now, in this part of the meeting, we're eager to hear how God has been blessing you through your understanding and practice of Christian Science. Those on Zoom, be sure to unmute yourselves before speaking. Let's close with singing hymn number 246, O thou who spreadest the heaven like a tent, he who depends on thee ne'er is forspent. Still for his might on thee he ever counteth, on wings of eagles he unwearied mounteth. Hymn number 246.